a game, but you didn't really deserve it. But the one who wins the most games in the series is the legitimate winner of the World Series. And that's why, if it's good enough for America's pastime, shouldn't it be good enough for America's president?
I love
Well,
that.
don't forget football, golf, basketball.
Look, I love that analogy, and it's just because it's so easy to understand. And the reason the World Series is run that way is because you want to encourage teams to be well-rounded, okay? You don't want a team to be the champion just because they have a really great pitcher or a hitter that does really well in a particular kind of circumstance. You want to reward the most well-rounded team, the overall champion, and that's exactly what we do at the Electoral College. I love that. Thank you.
Next question.
Peter Gailey, Canisius College, Buffalo, New York. I mentioned that for one very important reason. If you're a member, a citizen in New York, and you are not of the Democratic Party, your vote simply is tossed away. Now, I'm not so anxious to get the Electoral College completely revised, but it does seem to me to make sense to have a proposal that allow for proportional voting among the states. That would not destroy the system, not create some of the horrors that have been paraded before us today, but it would, I think, deal with that one problem of sitting around watching the world go by as we, our vote simply means very little.
I want to respond to this.
Sure, Dr. Baker.
I would encourage you to move to support such a move in New York, and if the numbers are as suggested over here in terms of popular dissatisfaction with the Electoral College, maybe you can convince people on a bipartisan basis to do that.
Well, no, the issue I think you're raising is not whether we can convince people to do it. I'm asking you to give me a reason why we shouldn't do it.
Well, first of all, in argument, the advocate of change has to give the reason for the change. I've given the reasons for the current system already. There are different ways that individual states can do it. If you want to do it that way in New York, that's fine. I might add that had Romney won the popular election, I can't imagine that New York, which has already adopted the MPV, that the majority of people in New York would be very happy casting their electoral votes for Romney.
Yeah, I guess it was. I think two possible reasons not to do it. Look, I'm just an advocate of every state decide what makes sense for you. I really don't care. Maine and Nebraska already do it. If it came up in Texas, my home state, where I think I would say something, I would encourage them not to. The reason I would say no, there's two simple reasons. One is gerrymandering. I like lines that cannot be controlled by an incumbent class of officials. Congressional district lines can be. If you're talking about the congressional district system. If you're talking about proportional, that becomes